Imagine owning 10% of Apple. Now imagine selling it for $800. That actually happened. Ronald Wayne was Apple's third co-founder in 1976. He walked away after 12 days. Today, that stake would be worth over $100 billion. $100 billion. For $800. But here is the thing. Wayne's story is just the beginning. Because the path from broke to billion-dollar empire is paved with decisions that sound absolutely insane. And today, you are going to hear about founders who bet everything when they had nothing to lose. Let's dive in. April 1976. Ronald Wayne is standing in a garage in Los Altos, California. He is 41 years old. Steve Jobs is 21. Steve Wozniak is 25. Together, they just founded Apple Computer. Wayne owns 10%. Jobs and Wozniak split the rest. Wayne's job? Provide adult supervision. Write the partnership agreement. Be the tiebreaker. Sounds perfect, right? But here is where it gets interesting. 12 days later, Wayne walks into the partnership office and sells his entire stake back to Jobs and Wozniak. $800. That's it. Why would anyone do this? Wayne was terrified. Unlike Jobs and Wozniak, he had personal assets. A house, savings, and in 1976, business partnerships meant unlimited liability. If Apple failed and went into debt, creditors could take everything Wayne owned. His house, his car, everything. So he walked away. Fast forward to today. That 10% stake, worth over $100 billion. Can you believe that? Wayne later said he made the right decision for his circumstances. But this is the brutal truth about billion-dollar empires. Someone always walks away too early. Nobody saw what happened next. Because while Wayne was protecting his assets, another future billionaire was scrubbing floors. Jan Koum, 1992, he is 16 years old. Just immigrated to Mountain View, California from Ukraine with his mother. His father stayed behind, planning to join later. He never made it. Jan and his mom lived in a small two-bedroom apartment. Government assistance. Food stamps. His mother worked as a babysitter. Jan? He became a janitor. Sweeping floors at a grocery store. This is not a rags to riches cliché. This is survival. But Koum had something most people didn't. Obsession. He taught himself computer networking by buying manuals from used bookstores. Stayed up until 3 in the morning reading. No computer science degree. No fancy mentors. Just pure grinding obsession. By 18, he talked his way into an infrastructure engineering job at Ernst & Young. Then in 1997, he joined a tiny startup called Yahoo as infrastructure engineer number 57. He spent 9 years there. Learned everything about building systems for hundreds of millions of users. Then in 2007, Koum bought an iPhone. And then everything changed. Koum realized something profound. The App Store was about to transform mobile phones into something completely different. He wanted to build an app. Something simple. Something that would let him see statuses next to names in his address book. Like the away messages on Yahoo Messenger. He called it WhatsApp. A play on WhatsApp. February 2009, he incorporated WhatsApp Incorporated. Brian Acton joined him. They applied to Facebook for jobs. Both got rejected. So they poured everything into WhatsApp instead. For the first year, the app kept crashing. Users hated it. Com almost gave up. But here is the part that changes everything. Apple released push notifications in June 2009. Suddenly, WhatsApp could ping users when their friends updated their status. Then Com added messaging. Growth exploded. 400 million users by 2013. No ads. Just $1 per year subscription. February 2014, Mark Zuckerberg, the same guy who rejected Com's job application, bought WhatsApp for $19 billion. 19 billion. The kid who swept grocery store floors just became a billionaire. And he signed the deal on the door of the welfare office where he used to pick up food stamps. True story. This is the part that changes everything. Because Com's story proves that starting with nothing can actually be an advantage. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. And that mindset? That is exactly what John Paul DeJoria had. 1980 Los Angeles. DeJoria is living in his car with his 2-year-old son. 36 years old. Twice divorced. Broke. Before this, he sold encyclopedias door to door. Worked as a janitor. Even spent time in a street gang as a kid in East La. Now he is homeless. But he has an idea. Premium hair products. Salon quality. He partners with a hairdresser named Paul Mitchell. They need $700 to start. DeJoria borrows it. They mix the first batches of shampoo themselves. Then DeJoria hits the streets, knocking on salon doors, sleeping in his car between sales calls. Most salon owners slammed doors in his face. Too expensive. Nobody knows the brand. Why would we buy this? But DeJoria kept going. One yes at a time. John Paul Mitchell systems slowly gained traction. Salons loved the quality. Word spread. By the mid-1980s, the company was generating millions in revenue. Today, over $900 million annually. DeJoria's net worth hit $3 billion. From a car to $1 billion empire. All because he refused to quit. What they discovered next shocked the entire industry. Do-Won Chung figured out something about American retail that nobody else saw coming. 1981, Chung immigrated to California from South Korea. He worked 3 jobs simultaneously. Janitor, gas station attendant, coffee shop worker. His wife Jin Sook worked as a hairstylist. Together, they saved every penny. Chung noticed something interesting. The people driving nice cars. They worked in the garment industry. He saw an opportunity. 1984, Chung and Jin Sook opened a tiny clothing store in Los Angeles. They called it Fashion 21. The concept was simple but revolutionary. Bring Korean manufacturing speed to American fast fashion. See a trend on the runway. Get it into stores within weeks, not months. Sell it cheap. Turn inventory fast. The model worked. Within a year, they expanded. Changed the name to Forever 21. By the 1990s, they were opening stores across America. At their peak in the 2010s, Forever 21 operated over 800 stores globally. Do-Won and Jin Sook Chung's combined net worth hit $3.3 billion. A janitor and a hairstylist built a fashion empire. But here is where it gets interesting. Forever 21 filed for bankruptcy in 2019. Overexpansion. Changing consumer habits. E-commerce disruption. The Changs went from billions to barely holding on. They restructured, closed hundreds of stores, and fought back. The empire that rose from nothing faced the same fate as many billion-dollar companies. Adaptation or death. Nobody saw this coming. Forbes recently identified 46 founders under 30 who turned their startups into billion-dollar fortunes. 46. Sam Altman, Alexander Wang. Names you might recognize. Names you have never heard. All of them share something critical. They started young, took massive risks, and refused to play it safe. Alexander Wang dropped out of MIT at 19 to found Scale AI. Today, the company is valued at over $7 billion. Wang became the youngest self-made billionaire in America. 19. Can you believe that? Meanwhile, older founders were making equally insane bets. One unnamed founder left a CEO position earning millions annually. Luxury benefits, stock options, secure future. Why would anyone leave that? Because it was the internet boom. And he saw a bigger opportunity. He started a second company. Bootstrapped it through the chaos of the dot-com crash. The company survived, then thrived. Eventually, it went public at a $500 million valuation. That CEO turned founder multiplied his wealth by taking the risk everyone told him was stupid. And then, in one single moment, it all fell apart for so many others. Because for every Jan Koum or John Paul DeJoria, there are hundreds of founders who took the same risks and lost everything. Timing matters. Market conditions matter. Luck matters. But the founders who make it from broke to billions? They all share specific traits. Work ethic that borders on obsession. Willingness to look stupid. Ability to handle rejection daily. And most importantly, they invest heavily in innovation. Whether it is technology, manufacturing, or distribution, they find an edge and exploit it relentlessly. Gary, another billionaire referenced in Founder Stories, used his venture capital earnings to start Granite Associates. But he didn't stop there. He built the Bethel Woods Center for the Arts. Gave back to his community. Because the best founders understand something profound. Wealth isn't the end goal. Impact is. Legacy is. Building something that outlasts you. That is the real billion-dollar empire. So how did they do it? Let's break it down. First, they started when they had nothing to lose. Ronald Wayne had assets, so he walked away. Jan Koum, John Paul DeJoria, Do One Chan. They were broke. Homelessness. Food stamps. 3 jobs. When you are at the bottom, the only direction is up. Second, they obsessed over solving real problems. Koum wanted simple communication. DeJoria wanted quality hair products. Chung wanted fast fashion. They did not chase trends. They created them. Third, they outworked everyone. Door-to-door sales. All-nighters reading technical manuals. Working 3 jobs while planning a business. Comfort is the enemy of billion-dollar success. Fourth, they leveraged timing and technology. Koum caught the iPhone wave. The unnamed CEO rode the internet boom. Wang capitalized on AI's explosion. They saw shifts before others did. And finally, they refused to quit when everyone said they should. Rejection is just data. Failure is just feedback. Billionaires process both differently than everyone else. What went wrong for those who didn't make it? Fear. Ronald Wayne's fear of losing his house cost him $100 billion. But was he wrong? Maybe not for his situation. The difference between Wayne and Com isn't intelligence or opportunity. It is risk tolerance shaped by circumstances. When you have nothing, you can risk everything. When you have something, you protect it. That is human nature. But billion-dollar empires are not built by human nature. They are built by people who override it, who bet against their own instincts, who choose growth over safety. Every single time. This is what separates the broke from the billionaires. Not intelligence, not connections, not even capital. It is the willingness to be uncomfortable forever. Here is the truth nobody tells you. Most of these founders would do it all again. The car sleeping, the food stamps, the rejections. Why? Because comfort doesn't build character. Struggle does. And billion-dollar empires require character that can only be forged in the fire of near-total failure. Jan Com signing the WhatsApp deal at the welfare office wasn't symbolic. It was a reminder of where he came from, of what he overcame, of why he could never quit. That is the real secret. These founders didn't go from broke to billions despite their struggles. They did it because of them. The struggle was the education. The poverty was the motivation. The rejection was the training. And when the opportunity finally came, they were ready. Not because they were lucky, but because they had been preparing in the darkness for years. So what does this mean for you? Simple. Your current circumstances don't determine your future empire. Your response to them does. Are you willing to work 3 jobs? Sleep in your car? Get rejected 1,000 times? Teach yourself skills nobody will pay you to learn yet? Bet everything when you have nothing. That is the price. And here is the beautiful part. In 2025, the barriers are lower than ever. You don't need a factory to start a product company. You don't need a storefront to start a retail business. You don't need venture capital to build software. You just need an idea, internet access, and an obsessive work ethic. The next Jan Com is reading this right now. The next John Paul DeJoria is working a job they hate, planning their escape. The next billion-dollar empire is being built in someone's bedroom at 3 in the morning. Maybe it is yours. If you want to know how billion-dollar companies collapse just as fast as they rise, watch our next video on the fall of unicorn startups. And subscribe so you never miss a billion-dollar story. Because these stories, they are not just entertainment. They are blueprints. And the founder who studies them, that's the one who builds the next empire.